she got me to Florida. She got us to Florida. I almost had no money, and she was like, I was like, how the f*** am I going to do this? And she's just like, okay, let's f***ing get there. When I have like, maybe like $300 in my wallet, going, f***, how are we going to do this? And then she's just like, let's f***ing do it.
Mate, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks, Harry. Thanks, mate.
So good to see you. So good to see you thriving. We haven't spoken in a while. I guess the biggest thing, there's a few massive things that have happened, but one of the bigger things is that you've signed with No Limit. Walk me through that, mate. It came as a bit of a surprise for me, especially because you were overseas and it looked like you were doing the overseas thing, and then you kind of jumped back in with No Limit. How did that come about?
Yeah, it was just they came about with they've shown a lot of interest. So then they've shown a lot of interest before, but I wasn't able to sign with them. So they came about this time around with a lot more interest, and it was just a no-brainer for me to then have a powerhouse like that behind me.
Massive, hey. So they're so big, and they're putting on huge shows in in Australia. It's awesome to see. What is the difference being with someone like them as opposed to who were you with before?
Well, I've had a lot of promotional issues. You just can't trust. I've known the No Limit guys since I've been little, so there's a bit more of a connection there than just signing with a random promoter. And if I were to sign with someone here, you just never know what can happen. So I'm glad I'm with No Limit, and they have my back all the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. You obviously don't want them taking advantage of you and stuff like that.
It just happens. It happens a lot.
So talk me through the move. Obviously, you were in LA. What was the decision by moving to Florida?
It was a stressful one. It was quick though. We ended up. It was just we made a call. It was a bit too we didn't like LA.
Yeah, right.
There was a lot going on, and it was very dangerous for myself and my wife where we were living. So we basically were in the ghetto. So it was kind of. I couldn't leave my wife. I like to walk around by herself, and that's not a way to live. So my manager's here in Florida, and it was a no-brainer again. He was like, get your ass here. He's like, there was just a lot more resources for me to do. And it's a lot cheaper than LA, where we are now.
Really?
Yeah.
What's in terms of, because you were last time we were chatting, you were saying like the crime was pretty intense over in LA. What's it like where you are now? Obviously a little bit better.
No, it's basically you can walk around and do whatever you want. I just I got the scare of my life with a raccoon just before. I was taking stuff out to the bin, and caught me by surprise a little bit. My wife was laughing, Crystal laughed. Yeah, we actually love it here. It's so calm here at the moment. So,
that's so good. Is it in terms of like where you are? Because you're in Tampa, right? So where are you close to a beach and stuff like that?
Yeah, pretty close. So we're in a place called St. Petersburg, which is 5 minutes from Tampa. It is closer to the beach, and there's beautiful beaches around. You can actually swim in it. That's another reason why to come here. We couldn't swim in LA without the risk of getting sick or stepping on something on the beach.
Really?
Where we were,
is it that bad?
Yeah, there was homeless on the beach. Just didn't feel like a beach
heavy
sort of scene.
That's gross, man. Well, that's good. Yeah. So you made the move. Who are you with down in Florida in terms of training? Like, I was trying to do a bit of research, but I was kind of finding it a little bit hard. Who are you training with in Florida?
So my head trainer is called Rick. We call him by Coach Rick, and we have an assistant coach called Jesse. So they're really professional, and Jesse's moved here from Canada, and he's a really good cut man too. So it's we train in like a private gym, just all blacked out.
Oh wow!
There's no outside. It's just blacked out. You wouldn't even know it's a gym. So
really,
that's a big
sick. That's so cool. So it's like a little secret gym.
Yeah. it's just professionals in this little town in St. Petersburg. It's pretty cool.
Wow. Are there any other big fighters that you train with?
I don't know how to pronounce his name. His name's I call him my hot rod or his nickname. But he's a Serbian, and he's actually fighting David Morrell on
Okay.
August 3rd, which is a Terence Crawford undercut. So to have him in camp and watching him get prepared for this fight is, yeah, that's top notch.
Was it kind of a weird situation for you? I mean, going overseas, being overseas, you moved overseas from Australia, going overseas, having a fight over in the US, and then coming back to Australia and fighting in Australia. You almost have done the opposite and flipped it. Was it weird doing that, or did it feel kind of like a homecoming when you fought on that last fight?
It was a little weird, but it was a good homecoming. There was a lot of people there, and it was pretty loud, so it felt good. Yeah, it did feel really good.
I just looked at that fight again before. I watched it a few weeks back, obviously, when you fought, but I just watched your fight again, and mate, it just looks so clean. How did you feel with Keiber Gonzalez? Like, how did you feel in there with him? And you just looked better than ever, really.
Yeah, I felt good. I think it was just the first few rounds. I was actually really nervous, a lot more nervous than usual. I think it was just the big promotion, coming back to Australia, homecoming, new trainers, new destination, just in like moving to Florida as well. So the first few rounds for me were, I don't know, felt a bit like stiff, and then once fifth round hit, I just swung away with that win. I did good. It was he was tough though. He was a really good opponent. I think he beats a lot of guys that he faces.
Yeah. That I mean, it looks like you were almost going to get him out of there at one stage. It looked pretty like you rocked him with some pretty hard shots. Did you feel it in there? Did you feel him kind of waning a bit?
Yeah, a little bit. But then it was good to get 10 rounds up, 10 rounds out as well with a new team. Like we watched over the fight, and they told me like we could have told you to press the gas in the 8th, and I was like, I thought that as well. But we just have to get used to that bond. And now they can tell me if they see someone like that.
Yeah.
Get them out.
How did you feel at the end, mate? That was sick. That last kind of like little flurry of punches and you going back and forth with him, and then, mate, your head movement in the end there. That was so sick. How did you feel in there when that was happening?
Yeah, I felt fit. Like I felt like I just got fitter through the fight. And then I knew
that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like.
I knew I was hit, and I knew I won that last flurry because, yeah, we were both wanting it. So
I wanted to also speak about your wife, Crystal. She's obviously made the massive move over there to the US with you. How's she going? Because she's doing some pretty interesting stuff, isn't she? She's doing a bit of modeling. She's doing a bit of artwork stuff. Walk me through what she's doing over there.
She's actually working on an acting career. That's her main thing. She does modeling on the side, but yeah, it's been, I owe the world. It's probably been the hardest on her more than anybody else. And not many people know this, but she got me to Florida. She got us to Florida. I almost had no money, and she was like, I was like, how the fuck am I going to do this? And she's just like, Carl, let's fucking get it. And yeah, that's all I can say.
Mate,
you don't hear many stories like that when I have like maybe like $300 in my wallet. Oh fuck, how are we gonna do this? And then it's just like, let's fucking do it. So yeah, that's for sure.
Man, that's so lovely. Like, so it's crazy because she obviously seems like just so amazingly loyal. Like, to do something like that, I mean, that's got to, feel amazing to have a partner that would go and do something like that for you and kind of help you to get and follow your career, right?
Yeah, I just don't have the words for it. You very rarely find people like that in the world. So yeah.
Oh man, I'm so stoked for you. Well, in terms of her work, like she looks like she does some amazing artwork and stuff like that. Like, she's pretty bloody talented. Has she been
She's a very creative person, and she's very talented also.
That's so sick. Wanted to speak about your hometown, man. Been in Narrabeen. What was it like growing up in Narrabeen, man? I mean, the people there are they're very loyal people. You know, I worked at the Sands Hotel, and I was lucky enough to meet some of the characters. What was it like growing up in Narrabeen, and how do you reckon it kind of shaped you as a fighter?
I don't know where to start. I mean, that place is so beautiful, for one, and the people that they get behind there. You know, if you're a local boy from Narrabeen, they definitely get behind you, and they pull their heart and soul out to get behind you. So, growing up in Narrabeen was cool. The surf culture, haven't been surfing much, but the surf culture is cool. League culture, and just the place in general. It's just a beautiful place to live and be from.
For sure.
Really.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very kind of like us and them mentality, isn't it? With sometimes, like, obviously the surf culture there is crazy. Do you think that kind of like helped you as like a youngster coming through, and kind of helped you get over a few things, having that support mechanism of the people and the surfing culture and all the community there?
Yeah, 100%. That's helped me a lot. It's a special thing to be able to call yourself an Narrabeen boy, and to be doing something special on the world stage. So just having Narrabeen behind me too, it's just extra special.
Mate, that's so good.
Yeah.
Happy birthday for the other day as well, by the way. I didn't get to say, obviously a few weeks back now, but man, it's so exciting. Yeah. You're only 26, which blows my mind. Like, you're not even touching, you know, your prime yet. You're not even in, and you just look so, you know, amazing. Obviously, all those years of training really hard and dedication and stuff has paid off. But how are you seeing the rest of your kind of like boxing career in terms of, I mean, obviously you're still kind of at the start of it, aren't you? I mean, how are you seeing it shape out, and what are your kind of plans?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be the best, and I want to win world titles, and I want to bring those fights back to Australia. And that's one thing signing with No Limit is gonna, you know, that's gonna help in the future and bring huge fights back to Australia. I'm able to fight overseas too, but why not come back home? I'm just excited for the future. I can say, and I don't really want to call it a career until it's over. So I just keep day by day and keep working hard and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I was speaking with Jai Opetaia the other day. Obviously, he got a huge win. What was it like getting a bit of a shout out from him? I mean, he was raving about you, and obviously, you've got a lot of kind of a bit of a background with him. What's it like getting a bit of a shout out from him?
Yeah, that's up there. That's an honor to, you know, have all these guys, and just knowing Jai since we've been little. It's an honor. It's a really big honor, and to see what he did on that fight, mate, that takes guts. That's something you don't see very often.
What did you think about that fight?
He did really well. He fought 10 rounds perfectly, and then the guy came back, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's happening? What's going to happen? But it shows how much of a warrior and how much guts he has. So just keep like that. It must be another mental game fighting a rematch, knowing this guy's broke your jaw. Like, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah.
But that's something you have to give credit to Jai, and to take that rematch and just do what he was able to do. It's very impressive.
Last one from me, mate, and then I'll let you go and enjoy your alligator-infested waters over there, mate.
There's actually one right around the corner from us, so I just
Really?
go walking. Yeah, you're seeing.
Mate, I saw those videos and stuff the other day. Fuck, mate, that's pretty intense having to deal with some of that shit. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
apparently they call them here swamp puppies. Like, they don't do anything, but they just lie there. You do not want to.
do people get killed by them? They've not really had like kids or anything.
I'm not. Maybe I think I've heard stories. I've seen news articles about it, and they're like little dogs, and they can end up in your backyard or something. Like, yeah, they're around though. Gotta be careful.
What do you think? I've been asking a few fighters this question. What do you think is something that isn't spoken about enough in your sport?
There's a lot of corruption in the sport, but
The
can't really fix that. Like that comes with that comes with the sport. So
yeah.
um, it's been around forever. So you can't really fix that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's actually an interesting one. I haven't actually spoken to anyone about that, and I guess it's less prevalent with the MMA, like the UFC fighters I speak with. But boxing has it quite a bit. What is it like? I mean, in terms of corruption, like that can like end someone's career, right? I mean, you essentially you go into every fight. Is that ever in the back of your mind?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's all greed at the end of the day, and it all comes with people not losing or people wanting to market people a certain way, and I think it just all comes down to that. And maybe one thing we can talk about is like when a fighter loses their zero,
Yeah.
or they have a loss. Like a lot of majority of the population think they're done. Like it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they're finished. They can get beat. Like they're not worth anything anymore. And that's where that can sort of tie in. Like, oh, promoters just go, oh, fuck, he's lost. You know,
Yeah.
we're not paying.
Well, that seems bizarre to me. I mean, I'm obviously obsessed with MMA and stuff like that, and that's but boxing, like you see the differences, but like some people have these 4 or 5 losses and they're like champions of the world in MMA, and then you look at boxers and I mean it's kind they if they lose that undefeated streak or whatever, yeah, promoters look at them and kind of don't back them. What is that? What is that?
I
Do you
don't know,
think?
but I actually don't know. It's just, I think,
Does it give you the shits?
yeah, yes and no, a little bit, but it all started from Mayweather. I think the way
Yeah,
he,
right.
the way he did his stuff, and everyone just sort of wanted to be like him, and
Yeah.
promoters liked what he did. I guess he raked in the most money out of everyone.
All right, mate. I'm just before I let you go. Your next fight, talk me through it. Have you got? So do you know who you're fighting? What's the go there?
No, I don't know who I'm fighting, but I know roughly it will be end of August. I don't know
Okay.
the exact date, but it will be back home again. So I'm excited for that.
Will it be an Aussie or will it be someone else? Do you think?
I'm actually not too sure. I don't mind either way who they bring.
Who would you want? Is there any Aussies that would tickle your fancy in terms of fighting?
Well, there is a few, but I don't really like they're saying I want to fight him. I want to fight. Like I'll fight anyone. It's just getting the fights made and what makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess it's I'm excited for this next fight. Whoever it's going to be. They've mentioned some names.
Who would you think would be like a really exciting fight? Someone to have a really good, exciting fight with, maybe an Aussie name or even someone else.
I think Zarafa's a good fight. Mikhailovic.
Yeah.
Hardman's there. Who's there? Who else is there?
Is Camilleri up
Yeah,
there?
Camilleri's up there. I mean, they're all good fights, but I know the training I've had and the guys I've beat, I'm level above those guys. Like, no disrespect to them, but I'm here in America, training with the #1 light heavyweight, or I'm sparring world champions. Like, there's levels, and I think you can look good in sparring, you can look good in the gym, but you have to perform under the lights when your family's watching, when they're fucking nervous, when your wife can't even watch, when your mum's not watching, your dad is like stressing. Like it's a hard thing to do to perform under the lights, in front of a few thousand people. Yeah, that's when the pressure comes. You can be so good in the gym, can look nice, but you better be on that fighter. You better be able to like almost die in there. That's how far you got to take it.
Mate, thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on your last fight. And, mate, stoked for your next fight. Sounds like it's going to be a big one. Yeah, thanks, bro. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks, mate. No, we can.